First tip. Okay, this is the laziest method to coloring. I finished this in under an hour. Now we got here a sketch. Now I'm gonna fill it in with color. So as you can see, I am only putting very flat base colors. Okay, Picasso, we're done. Now what you want to do is fill the whole canvas with the color of your choice. Set that to multiply mode, clipping group, and then Shazam. See the difference? Now on another layer, just click add glow mode. What you want to do is airbrush a light color like this, and then look at that beauty. I learned this off TikTok, by the way. Bruh, who would have thought? TikTok, am I right? Watch me create boobas just by doing one swipe. Hold on. Just lasso tool this whole section, and then bam! She got them hooters. The only thing I'm doing here is adding light. Literally just make it more 3D, bro. Look, this even works with hair. Just brush it like so, and then click this to turn your brush into an eraser, and then erase using the same brush. So after that, you can just paint over your layers to yassify your art. We'll get back to that later. Zam! 11 out of 10 tip, right? Like this video if you agree. Okay, next. So this is what a lot of people would do. They would first draw their sketch and afterwards draw over their sketch, which is what we call line art. So a lot of people have problems with how their line art turns out. All the juiciness just goes away. Where does it go? Doesn't happen to me anymore though. You know why? I do not draw line art at all. I do not set myself up for failure. You do line art, you do you, man. But personally, I just think it's tedious and takes up too much of my time. Why would I do line art if I have a perfectly hot sketch? So try this next time. The next time you're drawing, don't draw line art at all. Just clean up your sketch. I use a soft eraser to soften the lines and make them less stiff. This way, you're saving time and you're not risking drawing crappy line art. This is what I do all the time, by the way. So like, I'm for real when I say that this tip changed my life. Okay, next tip. Brushes suck. Okay, I know I said multiple times that brushes are important, but a lot of y'all are misunderstanding. Brushes are important, but not the ugly kind of brushes. Like, what is that? A default GIMP brush? It looks ugly AF, bro. What is that? Kooleen, you said that brushes are important. No, you are slandering me by saying that and then using a crappy brush. When I say that brushes are important, I mean that you should use like 3 types of brushes, okay? A hard brush, a soft brush, and something in between. So for my hard brush, everybody knows that I love this baby. This is a flat brush, which is a free Clip Studio brush that you can download. I do not know the name. It's in Japanese. I cannot speak anime. It's on the description, by the way. So I use this brush for sketching, for coloring, for rendering, basically everything. It is literally all in one. It's firm and hard, but it blends so smoothly. On the other hand, for my soft brush, I just use the default airbrush. Bro, the airbrush goes a long way. Like, for real. I freaking love the airbrush. I don't really have a something in between brush. I use a flat brush, like I mentioned, to just blend everything and render everything, and the airbrush. So what you're seeing right now is how I would use the brushes. So basically just interchange the flat brush and the airbrush. And you know, it's been great for me so far. It's changed my life, bro. Okay, next. References are important. And you know, everybody knows that the best resource for references is Pinterest, and on occasion, they're strapped TikTokers. Can you draw me? That is the #1 thing you should never say to an artist. This TikToker guy asked me to draw him. At first, I was like, the nerve of this guy. But then I looked at his profile and I was like, wait, this guy kinda hot. Juicy biceps. So I was like, okay, sure, I'll draw you. And I drew him. Moral of the story is that I'm a simp. However, what a lot of beginners would do is when they do get a reference, they just copy it word for word. Don't copy a reference word for word, bro. Personally, when I draw off a reference, even if it's a study, I exaggerate features like make the eyes bigger, the lips juicier, you know? I don't want to capture the reference exactly. What you want to do is simply capture the vibes. I'm talking emotion, mood, whatever. Do not copy it word for word. Learning the proportions is better. Prime example, the Pixar mom. Look at how they're built. Do you think that that's achievable in real life? You know, you don't see that stuff every day. Is your mom that thick? Okay, anyway, speaking about learning proportions, if you're a beginner and you want to be faster at learning art fundamentals or whatever, like bruh, screw fundamentals, right? You want to draw the hot guys. Well, I got you with this technique. So the actual way I learned anatomy and face structure and all that is by drawing hot people on Pinterest. this. And I know what you're gonna say. Kooleen, you're so cringe. You're such a simp. True. So this is how I do it. Grab a picture you like from Pinterest. Just a smexy hot face, you know? And then look at this. Look at this ugly AF dude. This is what a lot of artists use to see the planes of the face. See, when people tell you to learn about the anatomy of the face, the first thing that might come to mind is learning about the skull, you know? Which I don't know about y'all, but I do not want to stare at a bone for 2 hours straight. Instead of learning about skulls, you should just learn about the planes of the face. Now, this ugly ass dude represents the planes of the face. Basically, it's the simplified version. You do not need to learn about the skull, only the plane. You know, the way the light hits the planes of the face and casts a shadow and all that beautiful stuff. So basically, when you want to draw a portrait, just get a reference, then break down that face into plane. That's gonna help you understand the face structure and learn how light and shadow interact with a smexy face. There are also a lot of common tools that professionals use that beginners might not know about. So the very first one is the lasso tool. So first, everybody uses this, but as you would notice, a lot of professional art dudes use this to shade. I tried it out before, it's actually really cool. Like for example, if you use the lasso tool to shade the hair, okay wait, let me show you. So we're gonna select a group of hair and then shade it like so, shading it on both ends. So yeah, we're gonna do that to the rest of the hair, and then bam! The lasso tool is useful for stuff like this. You just use the lasso tool to select a specific part, alright? I also want to add that the lasso tool has different modes. You can literally make the lasso tool selection bigger like this by clicking add. It actually makes it a lot easier to use, am I right folks? We also have the lasso fill tool, which is like a fill tool and lasso tool hybrid. Just basically select a color and then that's gonna act like a fill tool, if you know what I'm saying. It's right here. Click this and then it's gonna show up. It's called lasso fill. Another variant is the enclose and fill tool. You just draw line art and then click this button and then use the enclose and fill tool. It's only gonna color the stuff inside the lines. Very smart and self-aware, oh yes. Next are the subtle things you could do to make your art better. I do a couple of things to make my art slightly better. Just a few things that I do to instantly improve it. First is blur. First of all, if you draw backgrounds, you can just use the Gaussian blur to blur the background and it immediately creates a sense of depth. Immediately, it looks smegzier than before, alright? However, there's also a blur brush. This is a free downloadable brush that I use. I got from the Clip Studio Asset Store. I have no idea if it's any different from the default blur. However, it's doing its job. Very nice, very juicy blur. Now I use this blur tool to just slightly blur some parts of my art to create a very subtle sense of depth. I just think that it looks cool. So you can download this in the description below for free. Alright, watch this video next if you're cool. Like, comment, and share if you like. And I'll see you in the next. Stay cool.